Good morning. I'd already done one vid and uploaded, and right now it's in private, I think. I've only been awake for like, 3 hours at this point. Still in the wake up mode. It's the one thing that I deal with the morning foggy brain like for like 3-4 hours, and probably the first hour or two is the worst time, like to start like bugging me on questions or something, or dealing with something stressful. Then it just kind of can offset the rest of the day, and that's something I have been working on as is, that of not letting things that like really stress me out, say in the morning, to allow that to affect the rest of my day. But no, I was dealing with sitting here, I was actually, the vid that I uploaded, I was rewatching it. That's why it's in private right now, because it's like, I rewatch them, and sometimes I make them public, other times I just keep them private, and eventually I might make them public at some point. A lot of these allow me to look back and just kind of look at, I guess you could say, the progress of things over time. It's something that I can do, that this allows me to do. It's not just, the aspect of my kids having the ability to be able to look back and look at these vids and, like, hopefully at one point when they start really rethinking that all this shit in their heads too, this whole situation as is, they can still look back and look at the time period they weren't a part of their dad's life. They could still see what he was dealing with. That type of stuff. No, I was just sitting there watching the vid, rewatching it, that type of thing. And as I'm watching, I'm getting a phone call, and I'm looking at the number. It's like, I recognize that number, but it's one of those numbers. It's like you recognize it, but for some reason you don't recognize it. And so I went ahead and answered, and it was Win-Win Homes. And I had already responded to their text message, I think yesterday or day before, letting them know I don't really want to work with them anymore. And they're sitting there telling, wanting to renew contracts. Like, the contract's up at this point. I don't want to continue with you guys. You want me to renew? No, I don't want to continue. I'm letting this drop off at this point. Like, you guys have practically had me homeless since June. And the way you're driving the price down here on this house, and you're not even acknowledging to people that just the work done. But I'm getting emails from other realtors asking what's been done to the house type thing, because there's no information being given. And their attitude was, well, the only realtor you should have conversed with was, my realtor. I was like, that is the only realtor I generally talk to. I was like, but when not even she knew that there was a well on the property, that's telling me they were not relaying information. It's like, when our own realtor is going, is there a well on the property? I know there's a septic, but is there a well? It's like, yes, there's both. So it's like, they're not upholding their part of the contract. And it's like, I ended up telling them, like, whatever escrow thing or whatever that they want, I don't want it. I don't care. I'm done where they're concerned. I was like, they've dropped the value of my home like 40 grand in 5 months, trying to sell this house faster, which in essence, I know has more than likely affected the values of neighboring homes here in the neighborhood that are up for sale that could have gotten more for theirs. The fact that they weren't relaying that there have been updates on the home, there have been repairs done on the home. The fact that I was having to be asked if Is there a new fuse box? Is there this? Is there? And it's like, yes, I even got pictures here. I even sent them to these people. And it's like they're not doing their part. As I explained to them, I said all they're doing is driving the price down to the point that what's going to happen is I'll have enough to pay off my home, but then be homeless. The realtor is going to get jack shit and pay for her work, while Win-Win Homes gets the bulk of the fucking money. And I was like, and I don't want any part of that. I was like, the idea that I don't really, other than here and up north, if I go stay with the family again for a little bit, I couldn't stay there for the whole time. I'd have to basically leave at the end of the year and come right back here. I don't really have anywhere to go. And so if I'm going to continue the process of selling my home, I have everything that's needed to do so without Win-Win Homes a part of it. I'm not dealing with them at this point. They haven't lived up to their word at all. All they've done is actually in the long run made things more difficult, because they're sitting there trying to tell me how on the easement thing, it took a while for things to get figured out. Yeah, because I did the work. It took me 5 minutes on pulling up the laws, and it took me a week to get the approval from the other lot owners to deal with this. And here we are a month later, and the price of my home driven down more. When even the realtor requested that they raise the price, that it's too low. Win-Win was driving down the value of my home so they can get a quick sale, and in the end it would be myself getting fucked. The realtor would be getting screwed for her work, technically. Well, they're making this fucking money off of it. And it's like, are you fucking serious? No. That's some shady business. So, no, I told them flat out. I was like, no, I'm not continuing. I'm not renewing. Technically, at this point, I don't want to get stuck having to stay in a truck over winter at some point, because I know I can't stay up north the whole time. My home sells before then great. Then, yeah. It's just turned into a big crock of shit. And so it's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm making it very clear with you guys. I don't want to continue dealing with you guys. If I'm going to sell my home, I'm not working with you guys. I getting a bit angry about it, but at the same time, I wasn't yelling or anything. I just flat out made it clear. I was very firm, and I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to let you go now, because I'm done dealing with you guys. And like I said, we're not doing this. It's done. I'm not renewing. I don't want to do any business with you guys. Whatever escrow promises you guys made, I don't care about that. I don't want it. I just don't want to deal with you guys anymore. You guys haven't lived up to anything anyways. All you've done is drive the price of my home down, while I've still been making updates on the home. And having to sleep on a futon in my own living room. Because technically I have to basically, if we have a buyer or whatever, I have to be able to grab my things and be out in a day. I'm not doing that where they're concerned. We have a buyer and I'm going to be like, okay, cool. Well, then this gives me time to be able to grab my shit. Get whatever needs to be cleaned up, do some resweep and all that, because that's how, typical home care shit. Granted, I've been burned out and lost a lot of motivation, a lot of drive, a lot of things. Just dealing with too much shit. And so it's like, no. We're dealing with the realtor. I'm just going to do it on my own. And I'm not dealing with that company again. I wouldn't suggest using that company at all for anybody who, like I've said this before. I'm not sure if it's public or not. I'm not sure. But I wouldn't work with a company or a place like that unless your home is a high value home that is in an area that is heavily desired and people are willing to basically pay anything to move and live there. If you're in a home that's like mine, that's still, even though it's now livable, because when I got it, it was not fucking livable. Put a lot of time, money, blood, sweat, tears, lost a lot of shit in the process of this fucking house. To get it livable, to get the electrical dealt with, the plumbing dealt with, fireplace dealt with, floors dealt with, bathrooms dealt with, the property dealt with, and then find that I got to clean up previous owners' messes that they buried in. Fucking batteries in the ground, are you fucking kidding me? But no, doing all this shit only to find myself to end up with nothing in the end anyways. Because of that place? No. That's where it's gonna lead to. And when I had this other guy that has been hounding me to buy this place for the last couple years, he was gonna try and get me to sell this place at crack house prices, basically. And I'm sitting there going, no. So you're telling me you're willing to basically buy the house for pretty much what I paid for it. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm done with this greedy bullshit of people. I'm asking less than the bottom value of my home. Because I'm not looking for this excessive amount and all that shit. No, I'm looking for reasonable. And at this point, it's below reasonable. And when it's being sold with the addition of another half acre onto the lot, onto the property lines, for less than what it was being at this point, for the same price of what it was originally being listed as when originally started. But they're, like I said, they got an additional half acre for the same price as what the house was listed for originally before Win-Win kept driving the price down. And so, no, I put a straight fucking stop to that. I was like, no, this is not okay. And when they tried telling me that, that they couldn't sell, it would be impossible for them to sell the house because of the worries of the easement. And I sat there, I said, are you fucking serious? I said, if that was the case, I would not have been able to buy this house myself. And I would not have we wouldn't have gotten the home loan on this place from one of the more difficult mortgage banks out there, where they have when it comes to going by the book, Umpqua Bank goes by the book. I like Umpqua Bank, especially when it comes to their mortgage loans and stuff like that. They're dialed in pretty good. I do like them. And so, and they from what I got to work with them in the process of things, because I've obviously had to sign some of the paperwork too. I was a secondary on that shit, but they'd walk you through all of it, and even the small print shit. I like Umpqua Bank. Kind of odd. I deal with Wells Fargo, but I tend to like Umpqua a little more. I just half lazy and half the Wells Fargo that I am a part of, it was originally a First Interstate Bank. back in like in the 80s and into like the mid 90s and whatnot, and then it turned into Wells Fargo, and it transferred my account over, and then I just pretty much stayed with them since. I tried other banks, but just yeah. But so it's been 20 years or something like that I've been with them. But no, I called her on her bullshit. I was like, no, that's bullshit. I was like, if it's impossible to sell, then I would not have been able to buy this place that fucking easily. Instead, they didn't do any fucking work, no homework, no nothing. Took me 5 minutes to pull up the fucking laws showing this stuff here. And then once I had gotten the contact info or whatever, the realtor was able to. That was the cool thing about my realtor. I love my realtor to death. She was able to link me up with the other owners and all that. Because what I could find on one of them, it wasn't enough. I wasn't sure, and I wasn't about to just go writing a letter to some random person about their property and not know if I'm even getting to the right person. Do they still live at that? Is that still their address type thing? And it's like, I just wasn't feeling right about it, so I just kind of sat on it. But I was like, it took me a week to do what needed to be done, and then when it came to needing to update, do an update or whatever, or an addition to the contract that we had with the other owners, it took me 24 hours and all that stuff, because it's like, we want to get the shit dealt with, where when it's just been fucking bullshit. And when I'm having to leave a letter with my email for other realtors, because if they have any questions or anything like that, they can ask. Because when even our own realtor has limited knowledge on the house and property, when they're not even sure what all's been updated. And I gave all that information to Win. They didn't even fucking know. When giving them the updated photos of the house, inside and all that stuff after getting things out, they didn't even bother to update the listing. No, it still kept it looking like shit. Where I looked like I was still living here. Where I was in midpoint of moving, and my movie room was full of movies still, and my computer room was still pretty much full at that point. It wasn't full. I don't. Of all things, the most stuff I have that I own are movies. Like, what took up like 90% of the U-Haul was my fucking movies. Yes, it's disgusting. I know. I have a bad addiction. That's why I haven't really bought any new ones. And usually I hit up the thrift stores, and they're a buck for, 10 cents a piece, so 10 for a buck or whatever. See, I'm happy with that type of shit. Granted, I like my three-wheelers. I like my motorcycles. It's not like I have a bunch of those or anything like that. I have a three-wheeler that I get a fixed pull start on. And then I have just a little bike. But yeah, no, there's things I enjoy, but it's not things that I sit back and go, I have to have, unless, like here on the property and all that stuff, it's like, in order for me to be able to make it here, I can't keep shoveling snow every fucking winter because it just makes that following spring and summer that much fucking harder. And it just gets harder and harder. So it's like, to stay here, I would need basically a small tractor, or a little self-propelled snowblower type thing to go up and down the hill and all that shit. There are certain things that are a necessity depending on where you live, and that type of stuff is a necessity to have. Otherwise, your vehicle's going to get buried in snow, or you're going to find yourself As the snow gets deeper, parking further and further away from home. We have to. I'd have to park. I have parked all the way down here on the road once the snow hits, and I'm watching this snow now come down the mountain right here. You can see the top of the mountain. Watch that, and it's like, because of Game of Thrones, just joke, well, winter's coming. We know it's, it's at that point, so we probably got a week or two before it's going to be here, if not already, like, here. Supposed to get snow on Saturday, but we know how the weather stuff changes on a constant. One day you'll see temperatures being one thing, the next day a different thing. So I keep my eyes on it. I usually like to use the Farmer's Almanac. They're more reliable, more accurate than the weatherman on TV. Lots of really cool advice in those things too. But no. I've got to get myself moving today so that I can get some things loaded into the truck. That way when I go up towards the end of the week and all that, I can take that stuff up and it's already up there. But no, just fucking roller coaster bullshit. I'm just weighing out what I'm doing on living situations because I'm tired of, I'm just done being alone down here. And yeah, I'm just done with it. And I can at least, lighten some of the stress a little bit. Because I'm not going to say it lighten it all, because I don't really want to go and stay at my folks' place. To be honest. I mean, yeah, I go up there to stay in the trailer that's up there that I was living in here before we can live in the house. But I just with the bullshit up there that I've had to deal with, primarily where my kids are concerned and the stress that's just created. And then down here, the situation I've been left with by my ex. I'm just not sure where I'm going, really. It's like, I'd go back up there for a couple months, alleviate some of the stress of being down here alone so much. I'm probably gonna reapply. I'm probably gonna try and get my OLCC again and talk to either my old employers or whatever, and see about. I got the realtor herself call me right now. I'll call her right back. But see about what do you call it? At least going and working on the farms, on one of the farms or whatever, and go either help with the harvesting or trimming, that type of stuff, or whatever. Just, something to do a couple days a week or something right now, and until this stuff is done and dealt with. Because I am bored. Yet this place here, I'm really burned out with it. I'm pretty much doing only the things I have to do, like between cleaning up and, getting that bathroom repaired. So yeah, I'm just fed up with the bullshit, and I'm just at a loss for a lot of things, because it's right now with just everything that's been going on, it's been really hard for me to really kind of, I have enough trouble focusing on things at times, and right now, just with everything that has been going on, that has gone on, and is still going on, it's just making that worse. That's why sometimes some of my vids, when I upload them, I just straight put them private, because I have trouble focusing sometimes on one thing, and I bounce so much. And with all this added stress, bullshit, and everything else going on, it's just kind of magnified that crap. It kind of magnified a lot of stuff. But anyways, I better call my realtor back, because I know Win-Win's not too happy probably with me, with the fact that I'm cutting it with them. It's like, no, you guys are liars. You guys are straight up fucking liars. And yeah. I'm just not doing that. I'm not dealing with that. So, thanks for watching. Got some sunshine coming through. This is a habit I really do need to kick. I've been starting to chain smoke again, and it's not good. So, anyways, have a good one.